she wouldn't be here. I think we're expecting her.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Tay still up here tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they're missing,
Maybe
because
not.
she always misses for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Deb,
Nope, I need to go. Here, can I steal this part? Thank you. Here to help. He's still up here, where's that at?
what's that?
Where's that at? Where do they have
Usually
it?
at the golf course.
It's at Lapeer Country.
Oh, okay.
I've done it. It's good. We have some really talented chefs in this area, but you do it like I've done it a couple times.
I hear about it every year, I've never done it.
There's like, you remember Chef G? She used to.
Oh yeah, totally.
She did like I graduated with her.
Yeah.
So I seek her out because she's talented.
Cool.
Like, there's cooking and then there's what she does.
Yeah.
It's two different things. If you're a real foodie though, we found, I know it's been there a while, but somebody told my wife about this restaurant up in Port Austin called the Farm Restaurant.
Mhm.
It's literally an old farm. They turned, I don't know if any of you guys have been there before, but we went up there last Friday for her birthday.
Yeah.
It was top 3 of all time. Like, I just walked out there going, wow. And it's not cheap, but it's 80 miles there.
Yeah, but it's Port Austin, it's awesome up there.
It's a great drive.
Yeah.
Is
Mike not coming?
No, Mike.
Okay, that's what it was.
He gets the keys to his new house tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
He didn't ask permission. As if he had to. And Catherine's moving too, so. And where are you gonna be going? You were supposed to work.
Yeah, I was. I actually I returned the project in last
Oh,
week.
well.
Yes, we did.
I don't have nowhere to go, so I'm here.
It was kind of cool. It was Mackinac Island. So
Oh, yeah.
my cable company bought the island, or bought the cable there. So we are converting it on Sunday. So I was doing all the surveys. So it was pretty cool because I got to go like everywhere that most public don't get to go.
All right, so
Yeah,
when you say you had, it sounds like it wasn't the greatest experience.
It was both.
Was it too much horse stuff going on?
No. I you know me. I'm a cycle. I ride a bike, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just that I just can't fathom how expensive it is to
No.
go over there and it's
Still
just-
eat fudge.
Oh no, I did not.
Don't go to the
not a
Pink
fan of
Pony.
that. Did not go there either.
Don't stay at the Grand Hotel.
But I was in their
Did
basements
you bring
and now
home
all
some
through
for
their
your
attics and
kids or
everything
wife
else.
or
Yeah.
us?
That's cool.
Yeah, I went underneath it. I went over
That's
crawl spaces.
interesting.
I went to the jail. The jail, our Kylo goes underneath the jail and underneath the bathroom.
That's way more exciting than what I did.
Yeah. I went to the golf course. I went through all those, the governor's mansion and.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've been in the Grand Man.
Have you ever ridden a
Governor's
bike
Mansion.
around that?
Yeah, did that too, twice, 3 times actually.
It's around what, 70 miles?
8 miles, 8.2, because they have the shirts now.
Yeah,
They
so
have the shirts.
we did that Labor Day walk, the Mackinac Bridge thing.
Oh, that's cool.
My mother-in-law wanted to do it. It was like a bucket list.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we did that, but then we stayed at Mackinac, and I had my heart stents put in like, I don't know, 2 weeks before. And my kid was little, and he wanted to go around the island, so I said, well, we're gonna find out if these stents work.
Yeah.
And I got one of those bikes, but he was like back here on like
Oh,
another
tandem,
bike.
yeah.
We made it around, but the whole time I'm
You go, what way did you go? Clockwise or counterclockwise?
We went counterclockwise.
See, that's the better way.
Yeah.
It's easier, like it's less uphill-ish, but it's pretty flat.
Loose back here.
I was literally just, nothing bad, please happen to me. Like, nothing bad.
This past week, the past couple days, the wind's been coming from the east, so it was blasting the east side. It's where Arch Rock and all that stuff was just wind burn.
I'd like to go to, it's Bois Blanc, I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's another island that you can see. Somebody I know, his family's got a house there. They've had it
a few times.
He said you can come anytime you want.
You do it, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't live in a house where people really like to rough it at all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, camping is in a motel, isn't it? That's what I used to tell Bill. It might not be a real fancy motel. There's so much in this packet, you can hardly get it out.
Like a church. That's hilarious. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of nice that he's supporting his neighbor.
Absolutely.
They don't always, so it's a good thing.
The marijuana place. Yeah, I swear to God, it's horrible.
All right, it is 6:30. I call the order of the Lapeer Planning Commission. Kim, you got a roll call?
Got it.
Okay, in front of you is the approval of October 9th, 2025 agenda. Any discussion?
I will make a motion to approve the agenda of the regular meeting for October 9th.
I have a
As
motion.
presented.
I have a motion on the board. Any discussion? Support. I got a support and the discussion. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right, seeing none, all those in favor with an aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Seeing none, motion carries. And then in front of you were the minutes held on September 11th of 2025. Thoughts on this one?
I again will make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held September 11th, 2025.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Any support?
Support.
Got support. Any discussion? All those in favor with the aye? Or support? Aye. All those opposed with a nay? Seeing none, motion carries. All right, right now is public comments. This is the time where you can address the planning commission. If you do so, you can just state your name and address. I'm sorry, or I didn't know if you were standing up.
Oh, not yet.
Go.
No, not yet.
Sorry, I'll open up public comments. And seeing none, I will close public comments. All right, now on to a public hearing scheduled for rezoning of Stone 4 East Nipissing to B2 to CBD-1. Sorry, yeah. A lot going there.
No.
Open, close, okay. All right, so I'll do my presentation
Yep,
first and then
and
we'll
then-
have our public
okay,
hearing.
yep.
I'll start by just reading this letter that we got into the minutes.
Will you do that during the public hearing part?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till the public hearing to do that part.
yes, we will.
Okay, so our first public hearing of 3 tonight is a rezoning request for 4 East Nipissing, requested by Mr. Jack Stone. The current zoning of that property is B2 General Business, and the requested zoning in this rezoning request is to take it to CBD1 Central Business. Here we have an aerial of the property. You'll see that the 12 East Nipissing is listed here. That's because it's a multi-tenant building, so there's a handful of addresses in there. And then here we've got another one from Google Images, doesn't really show us much different. Here we can see the branch of the river that travels right behind the property. On the zoning map, right on the corner here of Nipissing and Saginaw, it's this corner lot right here, and we can see currently zoned B2 General Business. And then on our future land use map, as we know, this is one of the most important characteristics when we review any rezoning. This property here, 4 East Nipissing, is classified as commercial downtown. Down here I've included an excerpt from, it's called the zoning plan in the master plan, and the zoning plan speaks to each future land use classification and how that correlates to the zoning classifications. So the downtown commercial future land use classification corresponds with the city's traditional downtown area. This area is characterized by buildings located along the fronts of lots, forming a solid wall of building fronts. The structures are primarily 2+ stories in height, fronting on public sidewalks, and are served by on-street parking and off-street parking lots. So this land use classification of commercial downtown corresponds with the CBD1 and the CBD2 zoning districts, and is intended to support the ongoing efforts to maintain the downtown's vitality, is that right? As the city's primary community gathering place. So I'd like to remind us when we go through a rezoning, we have 2 rezoning standards of approval, and only one of them has to be satisfied to support a rezoning, support an approval. So our rezoning standard number 1, the requested amendment is in compliance with the city master plan, or a mistake was found in the plan. So some findings of fact on this standard. The city master plan, future land use map, classifies this property as commercial downtown, and as we just looked at in that zoning plan, the commercial downtown land use classification corresponds directly to the CBD1 Central Business Zoning District. So the requested amendment, rezoning from B2 to CBD1, is in direct compliance with our city master plan. To our knowledge, there has not been a mistake identified in the plan. Rezoning standard number 2, the property cannot be reasonably used as it is currently zoned, and the proposed request represents the most suitable alternative zoning classification. So the applicant could hypothetically propose to utilize the property with any use permitted by right or by special land use in B2. As you all know, B2 is one of our widest variety of uses districts. So some of the B2 uses that are permitted include retail space, personal service establishments, restaurants, hotels, bowling alleys or other indoor recreational facilities, banks, and different varieties of office spaces, just to name a few of them. So the B2 General Business District offers a wide range of potential uses, so it does appear that the property could be reasonably used as it is currently zoned. However, the applicant desires to transition the existing structure at 4 East Nepessing into apartment units with retail space. Currently, apartment units are not a permitted use of land in the current zoning district, B2. The CBD1 district allows for apartments on the first floor of structures, only 25% of floor area, and apartments on other floors of the given structure are allowed. And as we know, we're looking at a text amendment to raise that 25% here tonight. So staff findings, the city's future land use map identifies the subject parcel as planned for commercial downtown. The future land use plan states that this classification corresponds to the CBD1 Central Business District. This classification is in direct compliance with the requested rezoning. Additionally, the city master plan speaks to promoting mixed-use lots within and surrounding downtown. It is staff's recommendation that based on the information provided, the request meets standard 1 in section 72306, our rezoning standards of approval. Therefore, staff encourages the planning commission to recommend approval of the rezoning request to the city commission. Happy to answer any questions we might have as we deliberate this one.
Thank you, Ben. We have any questions for Ben before we open a public hearing? Pretty straightforward. All right, I guess I open public hearing.
Yeah.
All right, I will open the public hearing on this subject if you wish to address the planning commission. We also have a letter of from a neighbor as well that would be documented.
I'll start with that letter.
Yep.
So letter from a neighbor in regards to the 4 East Nepessing rezoning. It says, "Dear board members, the property plans Mr. Jack Stone is acquiring and renovating next door to my property at 378 North Saginaw meet with my total satisfaction. Since this project will be my immediate neighbor, I would appreciate your approval to his wishes as I believe it will improve the neighborhood. Thank you for attention to this, Mr. Charles Seenick."
Thank you, that is noted. Anyone would like to address? All right. Just state your name and address and.
Hi, my name is Jake German. I'm here with Mr. Stone tonight. My address is actually 475 South Adams in Birmingham, Michigan.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of Mr. Stone. I work down the street in Oxford at Damascus Consulting and Development. Won't take a lot of your time because it's already sort of been expressed, but regarding the property at 4 East Nepessing Street, we're requesting the rezoning from B2 to CBD1. The request directly matches the city's future land use map, which designates the parcel as commercial downtown. The plan itself states that this classification corresponds to the CBD1 zoning district, which is exactly what we're asking for tonight. Staff also noted in their report that the master plan encourages more mixed-use lots in and around downtown, making this rezoning consistent with the city's long-term vision. The property does sit in the heart of downtown, surrounded by other commercial activity, and is well positioned for reinvestment. The site acts as a bookend to the downtown and is well suited to take advantage of the waterfront as well. Any future project on the site would still go through the city's full site plan review process covering buffering, signage, lighting, traffic circulation to ensure neighborhood compatibility. Finally, as the staff report concluded that the request meets standard 1 of the zoning ordinance and specifically encourages the planning commission to recommend approval, we respectfully ask for your recommendation of approval this evening, and we look forward to working with you on this site. And Mr. Stone, did you want to say anything?
Thank you for talking to me. This is the first time in 40 years I've been in front of a zoning board. I retired like 25 years ago, but I couldn't stand it. Saw this building. I saw it a few years ago, but the fellow that owned it never called me back. And now I'm gonna get the building, and I want to assure you that your help is needed, and I'm gonna make this building into a jewel. I built in probably 20 communities, mostly houses. I started doing this to buildings as I never thought I was gonna retire. I guess I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be 98 this month.
Good for you.
Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Just to give you a little bit of, I taught my son well. He's not around any longer, but he was president of the company in Detroit that's doing all the renovating. What's his name? What's the fellow?
Dan Gilbert.
Pardon? Dan Gilbert. My son was president of Rock Financial. He was his right-hand man, retired when he was 40, a zillionaire, learned the business well, renovated all those buildings downtown with Mr. Gilbert. And God bless him, I lost him though when he was 50. But I look forward, I used to build here, maybe 40, 50 years ago, a house here, a house there. And I enjoyed it. I've always maintained a good relationship with the city. I've never asked for favors. I've just asked, show me the right way. And that's why I've gotten to where I've gotten today. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I've hired a man already. He's gonna direct the whole operation. And all we wanna know is quality. And I think we have the name for it. We're gonna call it the Riverside. And it's gonna have apartments, offices. We have to wait for them. I understand they're gonna be changing the rule on the apartments, that there'll be a 50%, the first floor. And I'm gonna wait for that. But I'm sure there's stuff we'll be able to do in the meantime. But again, any help you can give me. I may see you again, and I'm sure when you hear my name, you'll know we did a good job. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right, any more public comments on this subject before I close? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Any discussion by the board? Well, I guess I will make a motion to recommend the City Planning Commission to approve the rezoning request by Jack Stone at 4 East Nipissing Street, PID L20-19-100-040-00 from B2 to Business to CBD1 Central Business District because it requests meets standard 1. I'm actually going to go with that one. And in section 7.23.06 for approval of rezoning.
Support.
And we got support on that motion. Any discussion?
Who supported that?
Josh? Yep, that
And
one.
you're recommending the city commission approve it, not the planning? You said you recommend the planning commission approve it? Planning commission is recommending the city commission approve it.
Right. For rezonings, we make a recommendation.
Yeah. Oh, did I read that wrong?
Yeah.
Might
Oh,
be
okay.
commission.
Just making sure you said you're recommending the city commission approve.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I'm
Okay.
sorry if I read that wrong.
Thanks, Austin.
I get one error a year.
Keep it till October.
Yeah. That's no more, yes, October's a good year, a good month. See, there's 2 errors. 2 errors, one night. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor with an aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Thank you very much for investing in our
Thank you.
community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, next on the public hearing scheduled is a special land use at Taylor Auto at 1428 Emily City Road. Ben, take it away.
All right. Number 2, public hearing number 2. special land use request for 1428 Imlay City Road, potentially the site of Taylor Auto Repair. So this request is for a major auto repair shop. That use of land is only permitted by special land use in the I-1 industrial district. Oh, let's skip that one. Here we have an aerial of the Imlay City Road corridor here. Here we've got the Mold Masters fabrication, large use here, big use of land. And then I believe the applicant currently occupies and owns this parcel right here. So this 1428 would be an expansion of that existing business. And that existing business at, I'm sorry, is it 1434? Yeah, 1434, that is also a major auto repair shop.
Yes.
So, give you some more context here. For our rezoning map here, zoning map, excuse me, we see Myers Road and the city limits right here on Imlay. And then as we move west towards Saginaw, towards downtown, this Imlay City Road corridor is absolutely industrial in nature. This is the subject property right here, and we can see it zoned that lighter gray, which is our I-1 industrial. So the existing site, this is just a clip from Google Images. This image was taken about a year ago. We'll see on the next slide a brief plot plan that the applicant has designed. I do not believe many site improvement changes are proposed right now to the exterior of the building. They want to do a lot of work on the interior. But to the exterior of the site, I do not believe too much is going to change. Aside from a possible addition of a second overhead door right here. So at that, given that, we're probably looking at a zoning permit for minor site improvements and not a site plan for this site because there's not much exterior improvements proposed. Here's that little plot plan, and you can see the two overhead doors proposed, and then we can see all of the applicant's parking is denoted on here. And that is about it on this plot plan. We've got 5 special land use standards of approval. All 5 have to be satisfied to justify an approval, while only 1 needs to be found delinquent to support a denial. So standard A, be compatible and in accordance with the goals, objectives, and policies of the city's master plan. The subject parcel is designated industrial in the city master plan on the future land use map. One theme within that plan is to promote a wide range of uses to fit the needs of city residents. And one objective of the master plan is to promote development and redevelopment of sites and buildings. And as I just spoke to, the applicant intends to renovate the existing structure at 1428 Imlay City Road to accommodate the proposed use of land. I believe the structure was renovated to support a different use of land that has been abandoned, and now the applicant would like to site themselves in there, so that means they will need to renovate the structure. The city has many light auto repair shops, but not as many major auto repair shops. And major auto repair shops are really engine and transmission work, where light auto repair shops are like oil change shops or maybe just body shops. So the proposed use is high intensity commercial or industrial in nature and is compatible with the use designation of the parcel and the goals, objectives, and policies of the city master plan as this standard asks for. Standard B, to promote the intent of this ordinance and the zoning district in which the use is proposed. One aspect of the purpose and intent statement of the zoning ordinance is to meet the needs of city residents and to ensure land uses are situated in appropriate locations. The intent of the I-1 district is to accommodate higher intensity uses that are sheltered from residential areas. And very simply, the purpose and intent of this chapter and specific district appears to be satisfied with this proposed use of land in this location. Standard C asks that the use be constructed, operated, and maintained so as to be compatible with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and so as not to change the essential character of the area in which it's proposed. As we saw on the zoning map, 1428 Imlay is surrounded completely by I-1 zone property, and as we move west towards Saginaw Street on the Imlay City Road corridor, it's very clearly industrial or high-intensity commercial in nature. So the proposed use of land appears to be compatible with the existing and intended character of the general vicinity. The proposed use does not appear as though it will change the essential character of the area. Standard D asks that the use be served adequately by public facilities, and we see that the subject property located on Imlay City Road is one of the city's main traffic corridors. The site is served by existing city utilities, and at this point in time, the applicant has not indicated that any utility improvements are necessary to occupy the existing space with their new proposed use. So the site has existing utilities that will continue to serve. The site appears to be adequately served by public facilities at this time. Our last standard, standard E, asks that the use not involve uses, activities, processes, materials, and equipment or conditions that, in comparison to the other uses in the district, would be detrimental to the natural environment, public health, safety, by reason of excess production of various nuisances. So some of the permitted uses in I-1 are much higher intensity than this proposed use, such as lumber mills, manufacturing and processing uses, warehouse uses, junkyards, mini storage, and other similar industrial uses. Some of the existing neighbors to 1428 Imlay City Road include a plastic fabrication business, a self-storage, mini storage business, and a small engine repair shop. So the proposed use of land does not appear to involve uses or activities that will be detrimental to the natural environment or public health when compared to our other permitted uses in I-1. It is staff's recommendation that the special land use request from Katrina Taylor for major auto repair shop to be located at 1428 Imlay City Road be approved because the request appears to meet all special land use standards of approval, which are located in section 71904 of the zoning ordinance. Happy to answer any questions as we deliberate on this one.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben before we open it up to public comments or public hearing? Very straightforward as well. I guess we will open it up to public hearing if this is open up for the subject matter at hand. If you wish to address the city or the Lapeer City Planning Commission on the subject. All right, seeing none comments, I will close public hearing on said matter and open up back to discussion.
I'd like to make a motion.
All right, you do so.
I would like to make a motion to approve the special land use request by Katrina Taylor to permit a major auto repair shop at 1428 Emily City Road because the request meets all standards in section 7-19-04 for approval of a special land use.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Does any support?
Support.
We got support on that said motion. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, we can all vote with an aye.
Aye.
All those opposed with a nay. Seeing none, motion carries. All right, well, we have a third one. I think this might be a record.
I know, right? Record for me, for sure.
All right, this one is on the zoning ordinance text amendments in Articles 13, 14, or 13, 15, 16, and 17. Ben, take it away.
So here tonight, we've got our public hearing on those text amendments, as Austin just stated, in Articles 13, 15, 16, and 17. These are our draft text amendments, and if the Planning Commission is mostly content with the proposed amendments, staff recommends that the Planning Commission make a motion recommending approval of these text amendments to the City Commission. So there's a lot of slides here. I apologize, it's a thick packet, so I'm gonna go pretty fast through them. We've seen all these before, so please stop me if we've got any points on here that we wanna discuss. I hope I've ironed out most of the things that we've talked about in the last few months. Oh, the first one in your packets, very top of this page, apartments on the first floor. As we know, as we just heard from Mr. Stone, the CBD 1 district is the only district in the city that allows for apartments on the first floor. So the proposed change that we have here is that the apartments shall not exceed 50% of the total gross area on the first floor. One point that we talked about at a previous meeting was getting the flavor of Jim Alt on this provision, and Jim very simply said that he has no issues with this provision, changing from this. So that's really all that I needed to see to keep us moving on this one. And I'll just remind us that these other standards are still gonna stick. So the apartment shall be located in the rear of the building where apartment's entrance or unit windows shall not be visible from the front lot line. I think that tells me that we're not really gonna see much of a change if we decide to make this change tonight. Okay, moving right along into the next few slides. This slide and the next few slides are gonna go back a few months and talk about those different exterior building design changes that Alex mostly worked through with you all. So this first one, we'll see it repeatedly on the next few slides. There's lots of strike through text, And really no policy changed in this section. It was really just striking the text and changing it to more of a table format. So here's our first instance of that. This one specifically required commercial and office buildings should provide architectural features, kind of speaking to hoping to push a developer towards specific designs. So instead of kind of pushing them that way, instead we've just created the simple table which talks about permitted or required architectural features throughout all the zoning districts. Another one right here that falls in this section is our overhead doors provision. So we've struck out the line that talks about overhead doors shall face a public street, and now we've arrived at overhead doors shall not face a residential district, but they can face a public street. So here we've got the start of that table. Just a few small footnotes for this table. Window glazing surface cannot be flush with the facade plane. Windows shall be recessed a minimum of 3 inches as defined by our projecting defined still. Utilities, HVAC, and utility boxes located on the building must be screened at the same color of the facade material. Pretty standard provisions there. So here we've got more of that architectural table. So on the left side of the table, we've got the different architectural designs, and then as we move across the table, we've got, as I stated, we've got if they're required or if they're permitted in each of the zoning districts. Our next table, there's 3 tables in this section. Our next table, table number 2, is for building materials. So same kind of thing here. Here's a building material section that spoke to some building material standards. This information has now been pushed into the table on the next page. So once again, we've got some general footnotes for the table up here. This table down here lists materials in primary or secondary. Excuse me. The primary materials shall comprise a minimum of 75% of the first floor facade and 50% of the facade on upper floors. Secondary materials shall comprise a maximum of 25% of the first floor facade and 50% of the facade on upper floors. Masonry, concrete, once again, no policy has changed. These are the same materials that we've accepted for a long time in Lapeer. Stucco, glass panels. Our third table in this section speaks to building colors. So once again here's a strike through. This provision here spoke to high intensity neon colors or fluorescent colors and how those are prohibited in the city. But we've done that same thing here in this table, and now they are only allowed as accents not to exceed 10% of the facade. So really no concern with these colors here, and they're only allowed in our commercial and mixed-use districts. Once again, only 10% of the facade. This is just a standard here that states the building color guide table, which we have here, 7/1502. Following standards shall apply to all buildings except for single family and duplex homes in R1, R2, and R3, our residential districts. Very simple color guide. Okay, so now we move away from all those building facade standards and we walk into our landscaping changes here. So the first one that we've agreed upon is overlapping landscaping requirements, where multiple landscaping requirements apply to the same site. The required trees and shrubs may be used to satisfy more than one requirement, provided that all quantitative and design standards are satisfied. Plant materials must be appropriately located to fulfill the functional intent of each applicable landscaping section. I think this gives staff a lot of leeway to make sure that the intent of the section is still met, while maybe getting a few trees off of the applicant's site plans. Landscaping waivers, this is a totally new one for us here in Lapeer. All waivers must be submitted along with the required landscaping plan. An applicant may request a landscaping waiver from the Planning Commission of up to 50% from no more than 2 landscaping requirements. In making such a determination, the Planning Commission shall consider the following points. The Planning Commission may deny a waiver request if one of the following points is not met. Very straightforward when we're going to work on landscaping waivers in the future. One of those points is site constraints, such as lot configuration, topography, existing site footprint, limiting the planting area. The second provision here is the proposed reduction will not negatively impact adjacent properties, public right-of-way, or the overall character of the site and surrounding area, or the remaining proposed landscaping is designed to meet intent and purpose of this ordinance. So if we find just one of those to be not satisfied, we can deny a landscaping waiver. Here we've got our section that cleans up our removal and replacement of trees. So now we're going very simply to a 1-to-1 ratio. Removed trees must be replaced with a 1-to-1 ratio. One tree is removed, one tree must be replaced. The applicant must demonstrate what the existing caliper size trees to be removed, what size those trees are before they're removed. And then trees must be replanted at the same or similar caliper size of the removed once full growth maturity is reached. Trees planted that are replacing removed trees described above must be replaced as the same or similar tree species that was removed. And when prohibited trees, as shown in our prohibited trees list, are discovered on site and planned for removal, they shall be replaced with recommended plant materials. So there's a case where we could see some species changes. If we see prohibited plants planned for removal, they'll be replaced with permitted plants. Waste receptacles. When a property has multiple tenants, waste receptacles may be shared if a signed agreement is submitted to the planning department. The agreement must include the following. Number one, a statement which confirms trash production will not exceed the capacity of the dumpster on site, and signatures and indication of all parties involved, which include the dumpster owner and then those who are leasing the dumpster. Another provision in our waste receptacle section that we've added is waste receptacle and enclosure maintenance. All waste receptacles, enclosures, and surrounding ground shall be maintained in a neat and orderly appearance, free of all trash. It shall be the responsibility of the owner or leasee of the dumpster to maintain the waste receptacle enclosure and surrounding area so as not to create a blight condition or eyesore to the surrounding properties. One for roof-mounted equipment. When visible from the right-of-way, when roof-mounted equipment is visible from the right-of-way or from a residential use, roof-mounted equipment must be screened from view. Applicants could choose a solid wall or another architectural feature to be utilized as a method of screening. Moving on to parking. So now we've added another option for applicants to decrease the number of required parking spaces for any new development in the city. So now we've got two options to decrease potential parking counts for developments in the city. The first of those is a parking requirement waiver, and the second is a parking deferment, which we already had in the ordinance. A potential applicant will work with the planning department to determine which option is most appropriate for their given situation. So number one, our new parking requirement waivers. An applicant may request a waiver from the Planning Commission of up to 50% of the minimum required off-street parking spaces upon demonstrating compliance with the following points. Letter A, site constraints limit the amount of parking that could be installed on site. And letter B, a parking demand analysis or similar evidence shows that the proposed use will not require the full amount of parking spaces required. And then the second option here to decrease the number of required parking spaces for a new development is our parking deferments. And this is the same standard that we've had in the past. No change. We just relocated it now to be right next to the two, so it's very easy to find. One small change in this one down here. So we've got just a little tidbit note that we're putting at the bottom of the parking section that describes that full compliance with current city standards is required at the time of resurfacing. This was kind of word soup that Allie caught for me this week. I kind of said the same thing twice. Formerly I had here, anytime a parking lot is restriped, it must come into compliance with all standards within this ordinance. And I think I talked about this last month. If, for example, if a single line parking lot is having some fading, they can restripe it as single line if they're just restriping it. If they were going to seal coat it, then they'd have to go to the double line, our new standards, but only if it's a maintenance requirement, and that's a provision in our parking lot maintenance section. So, didn't want to explicitly state that, so now if somebody gets lucky enough and finds that, they can just single line stripe, go ahead and do it, but hopefully we might get some people to double line stripe to come into full compliance with our city standards, so. Okay, our last kind of topic in the text amendments here is some signage points. So I found another typo when I was reading through this practicing today. So damaged signs, this is speaking only to temporary signs. Any temporary sign found by the building official to be torn, damaged, or in unsafe condition shall be removed by the owner within 3 days after receipt of notice to do so from an authorized city official. I think for consistency, we should change this top one to authorized city official as well. If we change this bottom one from building official to authorized city official, I think we should also change this top line that can kind of allow any authorized city official to determine when a sign is in unsafe condition. Okay, now to our schedule of sign regulations table. We've made a few changes to wall sign size, to monument sign size. So the first of those is for wall signs, the maximum area allowed. The total surface area of all wall signs placed on the front, rear, or sides of a building shall not exceed, it used to be the lesser, and now we're going to change this to be, it shall not exceed the greater of the following 2 points. Number one is 10% of the front face of a building or tenant space. And number two is 1.5 square feet for each lineal feet of building frontage. I've ran a few calculations on this, and it should equate to applicants getting a little bit more wall signage on their buildings. Currently, we're pretty strict on our wall sign calculations, so this opens that up a little bit more. I think that's a great thing to do since we don't allow pole signs in the city. Another change here to awning and canopy signs. As we've discussed, we've had several variance requests in the last 5 years speaking to this standard right here, specifically for gas station canopies. So we used to have it as individual letters shall not be larger than 15 inches from top to bottom. We want to change that to 24. Based on what I've seen from some of the larger gas stations around here, 24 is, they often ask for more than 24, but 24 is much closer to what they're looking for rather than the 15. We had several stations kind of get pretty mean to me saying that 15 inches, there's no way I can make any advertisement work in 15 inches. So then they asked for variances. Those variances were denied. We had one applicant ask for 48-inch size signs. Like, come on, that's triple what is currently allowed. So 24 is a little bit closer in that direction. Monument signs, we've greatly increased the amount of maximum area for monument signs. So formerly we only allowed 56 square feet per side for monument signs. Now we're going to change that to 80 square feet per side for a total of 160 square feet. And then we've also slightly increased the height from 8 feet to 10 feet. Once again, I think it's a fine change to make. We want to promote monument signs because pole signs are not allowed in the city. And then a point that we've talked about quite a bit is window signage. And instead of limiting businesses in the city to only having 25% of their window area taken up by signs, we've changed it that there is no maximum requirement, no minimum, no maximum. They can cover all the window space they want with window signage, granted that they keep their entry doors clear at all times, keep the entry doors clear of signs at all times for public safety purposes. We've also increased the maximum area for projecting signs, so we'd like to promote more projecting signs, specifically in downtown. So formerly we had only 8 square feet per side was allowed. Now we're up to 20 square feet per side is allowed for a total of 40 square feet. And then in the same vein, we've also increased the minimum height of these signs. We agreed that 8 feet was a little bit too low. So now we say must not be higher than the wall it is attached to, and the bottom of sign must be at least 10 feet above the ground level or the sidewalk. I think this is the last slide here. Yep. So some additional provisions that speak to that sign regulation table. So kind of to carry on our wall sign points here, we've agreed upon that wall signage area allowed. No single business shall be allowed more than 125 square feet of wall signage. When one of the following conditions are met, an applicant could apply for an additional 50 square feet of wall signage. And those two conditions are if the primary structure is set back more than 175 feet from the lot line. Think about our big box stores in town that have their parking lot between their property line and the business. Those buildings are set back quite a bit, so they should be allowed more signage because it's harder to see from the road. And then if the primary structure front face is greater than 1,300 square feet, so formerly we would take the 1,300, multiply it by 0.1 or 10%, and then we'd arrive at their allowed wall sign area. So that's where we got if your primary structure is greater than 1,300 square feet, you can request for an additional 50 feet of wall signage. And then for our projecting signs, we agreed that we should get a little bit more specific with projecting sign materials, since we're probably gonna see more of them and they're gonna be larger. So now we have projecting signs must be constructed out of durable, weather-resistant materials such as aluminum, steel, or high-grade plastics. And then acceptable high-grade plastics include acrylic, polycarbonate, high-density polycarbonate, PVC, PETG, or equivalent materials with comparable strength and durability. That's all we got. So, if the planning commission is mostly content with these amendments, staff recommends that the planning commission make a motion, just like the rezoning, to recommend approval of these proposed text amendments to Articles 13, 15, 16, and 17 to the city commission.
Thank you, Ben.
Happy to answer any questions if we have any.
Do we have any questions for Ben? I know we've gone through this for the last few months, so I'm content. So,
Great.
my thought on it before I open up for public hearing.
See, on the colors, no, I'm just kidding.
Go. All
I'll get up and walk out.
right, I'm going to open up public hearing on this matter. You can address the commission if you wish so, or. All right, seeing no public comments, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any more discussion?
I'm happy.
All right,
I think
well,
these are good changes that will be, help our commercials,
Business friendly.
business friendly.
Absolutely.
A little bit more than what it had been.
so I will make a motion to recommend approval of the proposed text amendments to the zoning ordinance articles 13, 15, 16, 17 to the city commission. Got a motion on the floor, any support?
Support.
We got support and any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor with an aye?
Aye.
All those opposed with a nay? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you very much, Ben, that was a lot of work, I know
You're
you had.
welcome. Yeah.
You've been into that one for a bit.
Thank you, yep, I've been talking with Mike, we're probably gonna start some more text amendments
Oh,
in the
I-
near future.
Oh, I figured
Yeah.
that's an ongoing thing anyways.
Exactly, yeah.
You're right. In front of us now, we have a site plan reviews. We have none. Other business, we have none. Developing activities report. That's a correspondence in your back of your thing. Any discussion on them? Seeing none, we'll go to the training report, upcoming training and conference.
Yeah.
Slide up here.
So real quick, I'll just say, I think a few of us attended that Transforming Corridors with Housing training that we talked about last month. I attended it, Mike attended it, it was really sharp. So just a few bullet points from that training. Many communities in Michigan are planning for a housing stock that does not meet the needs of their populations in terms of home value and proximity to services specifically. So new developments are frankly just too expensive for most to afford. So in this training, they used Kent County as a major case study example. And one example that they used was in Kent County, only 20% of the population can afford a typical new construction single-family home. So that tells me that we need to get a little bit more creative. I think we'd all love to live in a house like that, but frankly, not all can afford it. So once again, in Kent County, 56% of all home buyers desire to live in a walkable neighborhood. Pretty high statistic there. Only 3% of the regional land area in Kent County allows for that. I would maybe change these, maybe this number or slightly lower, the 56 is true for Lapeer County. This number is absolutely lower. Only 3% of regional land area allows for that, in my opinion. But one recommended strategy that they shared to revitalize corridors was to use government incentives to get a project or two off the ground, and then future development will follow when developers see a success. So they've done a lot of this work in Grand Rapids and Kent County where they're looking at corridors one by one and kind of looking at lots that might be just completely vacant or just simply underutilized. And then, you know, the municipalities are buying lots and, you know, partnering with developers and finding incentives from the state and the feds to build these nice, beautiful housing developments. That's one sharp way to try to tackle the troubles for housing in Michigan. It was a great training, and we all have it recorded now. So if anybody else wants to watch it who didn't, please contact myself or Kim. And one more training that's coming up, as I've talked about the last few months, the Michigan Association of Planning Conference is October 22nd to 25. You're still welcome to sign up. I think you could sign up all the way to the day before the training. If you were willing to attend for just one day, I would recommend going on Thursday, the 23rd. It's in Kalamazoo, my hometown, and you can sign up just by Googling Michigan Planning Conference and then share an invoice with myself or Kim, and we'll help to process that just like we did for this training here.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, any more on training? Seeing none, we'll move to commissioner comments. Commissioner Brady?
I always want to say something, but no, I don't have anything tonight.
Commissioner Patterson?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Commissioner Atwood?
Yeah, I actually visited a few of the projects they have in Grand Rapids where they took commercial buildings and turned them into kind of mixed use and got really, really creative. They weren't done yet. One was this huge old warehouse that they were gonna turn into mixed use and over 400 apartments.
Wow.
It was a very, very large industrial space, and it was, you know, it was unimaginable the way it is now. Like, it was just a huge mess. But yeah, so it's going to be apartments, a residential, and then a commercial space on the bottom. It's going to be pretty awesome when it's done. Yeah, they had some apartments where they turned into loft apartments. So it was just this skinny, you know, space, but it was kind of long, and then they'd have some that were 2 bedrooms, so one would be underneath of the loft, and then a bathroom space, and then all open, and then there was a loft up above it. And I don't know, it's just kind of interesting in how creative they can get with housing nowadays is pretty awesome. And it's gonna look nice. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, they're investing in putting a lot of money into it, but I think they're using different types of what you're discussing right there is are the tips and all that stuff, each tips.
One thing that I've yet to fully understand is in this transforming your corridors with housing training and in that situation you just described, the zoning just seems so flexible. So like how the heck did they get, you know, an industrial zone property to flip around and then become a resident? So I understand that, you know, it takes a lot of flexibility with the planning commission, with your zoning administrator, and with your legislative body, but we still have a zoning ordinance that we have to respect. So there's a gap there for me that I'm still trying to understand.
Yeah, it was quite interesting.
You know?
And I could try and get you the information on presentation and the site so you can look at what it actually was, but it kind of reminded me of Duracon. Like it was kind of like that, but it was way longer.
Wow.
But the thing about that was they had ample amounts of parking already because you know parking was already there. So I don't know, that was kind of cool to see firsthand, and it'll be pretty interesting to see when it's done. There's something else on housing, but it escapes me. So yeah, it was just cool to see the creativity firsthand and what they can do nowadays. Is pretty bad.
That's good. Commissioner Johnson?
All set.
Mayor?
Yeah, this is my last planning commission meeting.
I
But I wanted
actually
to-
thought it would've been next month. I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah.
out. I thought it was
No.
next. Oh.
But it's been a pleasure to serve with all the commissioners here and to learn everything that the planning commission does do. And I'd like to thank the staff as well, because if you didn't do everything on your job and preparing, where would we be? So, thank you. And I'll see you downtown or Kroger's, Myers, or something.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, thank you. Vice Chair Roberts?
Well, first of all, congratulations on whatever you're off to next.
Thank you.
And I'm sure I will see you around.
Yes.
Yes. I wanted to say something to Mr. and Mrs. Stone. Number one, there is no way you are as old as you say you are.
I get that every day.
You remind me a lot of my dad. My dad is 86 and he can outwork, out-hustle, outthink everybody in this room. So I just wanted to say, number one, I'm impressed by you both very much. But you even made me more excited about that building. It is one of the, I don't want to say problem areas, but it really hasn't been highlighted. And bit by bit, this downtown is starting to turn, and it takes people like you with vision and experience to make that happen, so thank you.
Again, I'm gonna tell you, I'm trying to make it into a jewel.
I love the sounds of that. And then when you're done with that, maybe there's some other buildings you can. I'm a businessman, I'm sorry. So thank you.
No stopping.
I'd like to come up and thank you individually. I really, you know, I come to these things with forbidding. I mean, I've been in these places where I don't know why they say, well, let's go to the next time. Well, at 98, I don't have the next time. And,
My money's on you.
okay.
Thank you.
I tell everybody, it's my father's hat.
Yeah, and I would also like to thank you for your investment in the community. Thank you, Deb, Mayor, for your years of service to the city. I thought next month would have been, I did not realize it was this one. I knew it was coming
Right,
up. But then I put it all in my head too, and now I realize it. But
Yeah,
thank
I
you for
think my
your.
service is up that first
Yeah.
week of the
Yeah.
lunch.
And one of the second weeks in there, so.
Yeah.
But thank you for your service to the community.
you.
And obviously, we'll see each other.
Yes.
That's all I have, so I will say adjournment.
Hit the gavel.
Yep, look at that. There's your last, oh.
Okay.
You know I'll see you.
Hey,
I'll buy you an extra.
All right. Sounds perfect, bud.
so now both the rezoning
Now you can finally
and those
move
will
out
be
of the
on the
city.
next city commission. So a little bit later in
I
October.
might be moving out of the city.
Oh yeah, we'll share the information with you for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Well, now that you've been given the
There's a lot of-
pass,
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you again.
What are your properties you could have?
Thank you, sir, for your investment.
But then, you have to be at home.
Thank you for, I hope to see you.
Cut your
again.
grass.
I'm a great-
So you.
Thank you.
Nice